Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. This is the first session of Storytime with Joyce. And this is my first time doing Facebook Live. So thank you very much for being part of my experiment this morning. My name is Joyce Bennett-Hall, and I am an author. I have written several books. My first book was ABCs of Your Success, a self-help book. And several years later, I updated the book and retitled it and republished it. And its title is Deliberate Decisions. And I also authored or co-authored a book called Providence, which is a true story. And then I was prompted by several people to write fiction. And so I did. I wrote a series called Big City Dreams series. There's 3 books in the series. They are novellas. The first one is Betty. The second book is Ruth, which is her oldest daughter. And the third one is Carol, which is her youngest daughter. And that book just went to the editor last night. So I'm very, very excited about that. And as some of you know, when you do write, and I know a lot of people out there have books and are in the middle of books or just publish books, it takes a village to put together a book. You have to be motivated and inspired, and there's just a lot of people to help you get through the process. So I wanted to mention the people that have helped me through this process of writing fiction, especially this particular series. First, my mastermind partners, Angela, Nikki, and Martha, who have held me accountable for some of my commitments and my intentions for the story. And also from my prayer partner, Kitty, and my prayer partner, Rebecca, and my prayer partner, Sharon. And also Linda, who vets my stories to make sure it's really a good story. And then, of course, to Dr. James Mellon, who inspired me to write fiction and told me it was good to get out of my comfort zone. So thank you, Dr. James. I've had a lot of fun doing this. So let's just get on with it. I'm going to read the first 2 chapters today, but I will be here every Tuesday morning. And if you'd like to join me with coffee, feel free, or watch it later. My pleasure to be here, and I'm having fun with it. So the first chapter is actually just called Betty. And it starts off with Betty in her mind. She's talking to herself. Oh, dear God, help me. I'm scared to death. Really, really scared. I can't believe it's chasing me. Actually chasing me. Are black snakes poisonous? I can't remember. Oh, I wish I'd have paid more attention when we were studying snakes. Mr. Snake, please don't bite me. What was it that Daddy said? Snakes can't make a quick turn. I got to find me a big rock. Ah, there's one. Can I make it? Feet don't let me down. Run faster, Betty. Okay, here I go, round and round. I'm getting dizzy. Now I just have to find a spot where I can jump to the side. Here goes. Wow, Daddy was right. Look at that snake go. It can't stop. I'm getting out of here before it does. Why is it always me that has to get the water? Fergus is older and stronger. That snake scared the daylights out of me. I just about peed my pants. In fact, I think I did. I wish I could run home screaming. Can't, because I'll get whipped if I spill any water. Oh, why is the creek so far? Betty Malone is the second oldest of 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. She's considered tall for her age, around 5'5", with a slender build. Her shoulder-length red hair complements her fair skin, which is sprinkled with freckles on her face. Fergus is 18 years old and is the oldest boy. Betty is 16 and the oldest of the girls. Most of the heavy chores falls on them. Then there's Kate, 14, who has the responsibilities of the chickens, hen house, and collecting the eggs. Betty was struggling with the heavy pail of water, and as she headed back to the family's cabin, she just thought about Kate, who was 14, and Albert, who is 10, and Howie is 9, and the youngest, who is 4 years old, Rosie, It's like she couldn't wait for them to start helping with some of the chores. So as she entered the cabin, she was still experiencing the effects of being scared. Her hands were shaking and she felt a bit sick to her stomach. All the way home, she kept looking over her shoulder for any more snakes. By the time she got to the door of the cabin, as hard as she tried not to, she did spill some of the water. "Well, it's about time you got back home with the water," Margaret, Betty's mom, said with annoyance. A snake started to chase. Margaret cut Betty off before she could finish her story. "Hush, Betty, with that nonsense. Go and see what's keeping your brother with that firewood. Kate, put the eggs on the table, and when you're done, get Rose up while I start making breakfast." I said, "But Mama," I said, "hush now and see what's keeping that brother of yours." "All right, Mama," Betty said, feeling dismissed, and reluctantly walked out where Fergus was chopping wood. "Fergus, Mom wants you to hurry up with that firewood. She's about to make breakfast." Then Betty asked, "Fergus, are black snakes poisonous?" Fergus looked up from his chopping. "Depending on what kind of snake. Why?" "Because a black snake was chasing me when I went to get the water from the creek this morning." "Really? Is that really true? Come on, Betty, I don't believe you," Fergus said. "Yes, Fergus, it's true. But I could tell Mama didn't believe me either." Just then, Mama yelled from the doorway, "Fergus, where are you with that firewood? You're holding up breakfast," hoping a little guilt would hurry Fergus along. "Comin', Ma," Fergus yelled back. Then he turned to Betty and said, "Betty, I'll sure be glad when Howie and Albert can start helping out with this chopping. Come on, help me with this firewood, will you?" Betty helped carry in the firewood, still talking about that black snake. "Betty, stop talking about that snake and help your sisters," Margaret said sternly. Margaret was the daughter of Irish immigrants from Westmeath County. Margaret was born in Kentucky. However, she sometimes wished she lived in Ireland. Her mom's stories made Ireland seem so beautiful and serene, a far cry from the forest and hills of this small town in Kentucky. She was grateful to have this small farm amongst the hills, but sometimes she got so tired of all the work it took to run the farm along with raising the children. Like most men on farms in the surrounding area, her husband was so busy farming he didn't have much time for anything else. She was thinking about all the things that had to be done that day when she was interrupted by Betty's question. "Mama, are we all going to Murphy's shindig tonight?" "Oh, it is tonight, isn't it? I forgot with all that needs to be done around here." "Yes, if you all get your chores done," Margaret responded. "Betty wants to see that cute boy she met at the general store," Kate piped in. "Kate, stop it. That's not true," Betty said, embarrassed. "Yes, it is," Kate snapped back. "Not true." Betty denies the allegation. "Girls, stop with that kind of talk and eat your breakfast," Margaret said harshly. "True." Kate couldn't let it go. "Not," neither could Betty. "Girls, what did I say?" This time when Margaret said it, she pounded the table, and that got the girls' attention. "Sorry, Ma. Sorry, Mama. Now, girls, let's finish our breakfast so we can all get to the chores of the day." Now, the second chapter is just titled Arvin. Arvin Jameson is the middle child between two sisters, Lily and Elsie. He is big for his age, 5'11", slightly built, and weighs about 145 pounds. He has dark skin, tanned from the sun, along with his Native American coloring. Elsie is 14, Arvin 17, and Lily is 20 and still lives at home. Usually by the time a girl reached 16 years of age, she was engaged to be married. Lily in some families could be considered an old maid. Their mother, Arlinda, is a Native American from the Cherokee Nation. Arlinda's father, Ovid, stayed in Kentucky to get married instead of walking in the Trail of Tears. In 1838 and 1839, as part of President Andrew Jackson's Indian removal policy, the Cherokee Nation was forced to give up its land east of the Mississippi River and migrate to an area in Oklahoma. The Cherokee people called this journey the Trail of Tears because of its devastating effects. It was estimated that 16,000 Cherokees were forced from their homes and 4,000 perished on the journey. Many of Obed's family members, as well as his friends, were among those that died. It was never discussed in their home. Arvin's father is a preacher man. Arvin has no interest in following his dad in either the ministry or farming. He has city dreams. Their farm took a lot of work, and Arvin really didn't take to it too well. Thank goodness I don't have to milk those cows, Arvin told Lily and Elsie. Last time I had to, I fell off the stool and you guys laughed and made fun of me. That was embarrassing. We didn't mean to embarrass you, but you have to admit you did look funny laying on the ground with the stool on top of you and your hand still holding the cow's teat, Lily answered. I know, I felt funny too. I'll stick to riding the hay raker, although once while I was hooking up those horses to the raker, I did get kicked. My leg was sore for over a week. Just one more reason why farming is just not for me, he continued. I'm done with getting kicked, bit, falling, hauling, raking, and weeding. When I get older, I'm gonna go to the city and get me a real job. You know that Pa wants you to take over the farm when he gets older, Lily reminded him. I know, Lily, but I'm gonna go to the city no matter what. Arvin and his sisters continued to discuss his city dreams until they were interrupted by their father, who was wanting help with the chores. Their farm was considered one of the largest in the county, and Arvin's family was considered to be well off by farmer standards. Arvin, get the sickle mower. We've got work to do. Okay, Pa. Even though Arvin didn't like farming, he loved anything that had moving parts, machines. Arvin wanted to work with his hands, but not in the dirt, not on a farm. He liked working on the tractor when his Pa would let him. However, working with the sickle mower took a lot of energy, and he wanted to save his energy for the dance. Pa, can I take the buggy to the dance tonight? What dance? The Murphys are throwing a square dance in their barn tonight, Pa. Don't you remember? Arvin asked. Dang, I forgot, his Pa replied. Your mom didn't mention it to me. Well, Arvin, let's get going and get this work done so you can see that gal you're sweet on, he said teasingly. Pa, Arvin said, slightly embarrassed. Well, son, I saw the way you were looking at her at the general store. Yeah, you're right, Arvin admitted. She is really pretty. Her family has a small farm over the hill. I expect she and her family will be at the Murphys. At least I hope so. Arvin and his Pa continued talking while reaping the hay. Arvin was scared to tell his dad about his city dreams, so he just kept that between him and Lily. As soon as they were finished, Arvin sped back to the house to get slickered up, as he would put it, for the shindig at Murphy's barn. Well, thank you very much for joining me. It's just the first 2 chapters today, but I'll be back next Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, but you can watch this at any time. And for those of you who do have the book, you feel free to read along with me. And for those of you who don't, you can go to Amazon.com and you can pick up a copy if you feel moved to do so. And I'll also do some posting after the video. But thanks so much again for joining me. It was fun, and let's do it again soon. Okay, have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.